All right, our next speaker is a market research manager with Microsoft, and the focus is on making that connection between brand love and how emotions take you there, and this is like really cool, intriguing stuff. And her unit, no, I'm not going to do that. So, please welcome Haley Swafford. And that's for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. This is such a strange concept of I can hear myself talking. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, awesome. We'll do a lot of thumbs up today. So thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Today is also super exciting because we get new Taylor Swift music in like 13 hours. I see some laughs, hopefully some Swifties out there. And we're going to continue with that theme of excitement and love today. So raise your hands and keep them raised if you can think of any brands that you love. Yeah. Keep them raised if any of them are technology brands, maybe. Okay. And then keep them raised if any of those brands that you love might be Microsoft. That's what our data says too. But today I'm going to tell you how we're strengthening our brand. So today is about love. I hope you'll take away 3 things from this session. One being how we complemented our very data-driven culture at Microsoft with emotional insights, how we uncovered the components of having an emotional relationship with our brand, a positive one, and third, change management, how we're getting teams across our organization to activate on driving brand love. So let's start back in 2014, when Satya Nadella became CEO, he asked a very important question. If Microsoft disappeared tomorrow, would anybody miss us? And rightfully so. We are a very large tech company with a legacy of being focused on productivity and being in the background oftentimes. But since then, he's been relentlessly focused on getting to that more human layer of insights and specifically bridging the gap between our consumer and our commercial audience that our business oftentimes operated in. And we made progress. It shows in moments of success and innovation. And one of those other moments of progress was just about 2.5 years ago when our brand perception research team had the opportunity to sit down with the former CMO of Microsoft and put a stake in the ground on brand love. And it's not to say that we hadn't been focused on brand love before or measuring it, but this time we had support, resources, to be honest, and accountability because it became one of the top 3 priorities of our marketing organization. So as a research team, the first thing we do is look at our data, and it's true. We have a neutrality problem, meaning on the scale of Microsoft is a brand I love, from strongly disagree to strongly agree, 1 to 5, we got a lot of 3s and 4s. That begs the question, how do we do it? How do we get more people to love Microsoft? Well, we love our data at Microsoft, and in fact, one of the first things we did in understanding how to drive love was run a structural equation model on love. I don't think it gets more data-driven than that. But in fact, we were learning along the way and doing qualitative research, talking to people around the world about what is love, what does love mean? Is love even the right word? Which it is. What does it mean to love Microsoft? And we took away from that we didn't actually have all of the emotions represented in having a relationship with our brand in our perceptions, therefore not in our measurement, therefore not in our model. So we wrote brand new perceptions and reran the model, and it came out even stronger. And then we validated that among our consumer and commercial key audiences at Microsoft. I'm going to show you that model. So in order to have Microsoft love, people need to be able to identify with us. So if you heard the trends presentation yesterday, Peach Fuzz, the Aura part of that trend talked about compassionate and intimate interaction, specifically technology, re-engineering technology to become an extension of oneself. That is identity. That is people seeing themselves in our brand, in Microsoft. In order to do that, we need to make people's lives better. When we simplify technology and we help people feel connected, among other things, we make people's lives better. The right-hand side of the model runs on trust. We've been focused on trust for so long. It's a part of our ethos and who we are. It was a part of that trends presentation too. It's so important now more than ever to experience trust and not just say, but actually do it. In order to do that, we make the world better. We have secure products and services, and people believe we will do the right thing, especially in uncertain times like today, in today's world. And we could have stopped there, wiped our hands clean, said, we're good, here's the model, go do your thing, make it happen. But we were getting questions about, what does this mean for my product, for Teams, for Azure, for Surface, M365, and my audience? Developers, talking to IT decision makers about love. It was tricky. So we knew we needed to go and get a deeper level of understanding, deeper than face value of these perceptions. And I think this quote really well represents that. Although many of us think of ourselves as thinking creatures that feel, biologically, we are feeling creatures that think. In other words, 95% of our decisions are made with emotions and only 5% rational. So there you have it. Our objectives: uncover the true emotional needs of tech users and dimensionalize Microsoft brand love. Well, as good researchers, we do more research. We needed to find a partner, so we went on a very thorough investigation out in the wild to find out who could help us get there, who could help us do something we hadn't done before, and that's where Brand Trust comes in as one of our core partners in helping us answer those questions. We leveraged a methodology that they call emotional inquiry, which is essentially listening to people tell stories about their most impactful moments and experiences they've had with brands that then helps us unpack the questions and the emotional experiences that drive love today. So we first started with the general population. It felt more accessible, to be quite honest, and approachable. And then commercial audiences. Again, I've spoken a little bit about the difficulties and challenges that come with getting commercial audiences to talk in an emotive state. But I believe that because of the expertise and the methodology and the moderators at Brand Trust, that we were able to get there and get these people to feel comfortable in speaking emotionally and openly, and truly answer the question, can people actually love a brand? All right, but I want you to be the judge, so let's listen. Here's that thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
When it comes to loving a company, I can remember many years ago in Boston, there was a store called Filene's. They have the upper store and then the basement. It was like I was brought up in that store. My mother would take me on Saturdays, and then I graduated to going there on my own with my friends. It was a legend in the Massachusetts area because they had the kind of sales that makes your heart pitter-patter. It was like the most exciting thing you could ever think about going to one of their sales, because they had this thing called the running of the brides, where you would go and stand in line to get a wedding gown. They bought merchandise from really high-end stores and sell it at ridiculous prices. Filene's was a legend. My grandmother went there, my mother went there, and she told me about it, and then all my friends went there. Everyone has a Filene's story. Well, one day I went with my girlfriend. It was a Labor Day sale with a line beginning at the front door and going all the way around the block, and everyone in line was a woman. It felt like a big event. We were all standing there waiting for the doors to open, and then they rang a bell and everyone screamed. We felt like a celebrity was about to come out and meet us. Waiting in line, everybody there would become friends, and you would come to know the people who worked there on the floor because they were there for so long. Being at Filene's on that day, I felt like I was floating with excitement, running down the stairs when that bell rang. I was so into it that I came out of the sale carrying piles and piles of stuff. Oh my God, it was really unbelievable. There was no other place that was like that. Filene's was like a life preserver to me. Shopping there was like a festival. It was almost like Filene's wasn't a store. It almost felt like it was part of my family. I depended on them like I would depend on a friend. In 1997, Filene's went out of business, and I stood by the door sobbing and saying thank you and goodbye. You couldn't have that duplicated experience anywhere else. It was a personal connection.
So I know what you might be thinking. Microsoft is not Filene's. Filene's is not Microsoft. But imagine having hundreds, literally stories like that, all curated to our industry of technology and our brand and the type of insights that we were able to glean because of it. I'll share a few of those. I can't love something that I don't understand. And oftentimes, technology is in tension with being able to understand something, especially if it gets in the way of me trying to send out a big email or do a big presentation, write code, play a game with my friends on a Friday night. That will also impact the person's ability to love our brand. Technology reflects my identity. Technology reflects our identity, both our real and our imagined flaws. So you can imagine what side of that we want to be on. We want to be able to help people get to the aspirational parts of their identity, the parts that they otherwise couldn't access without us. And then seamless technology makes me feel free because we're secure, because people trust us, and we do what we say we're going to do. People can be in flow. They can get their work done. They can accomplish whatever it is that they wanted to do. I'll give you another example of a story from Microsoft. I want to develop quality products and quality software, the tools, the entire Microsoft framework, with the cloud to their DevOps, to their code, their Visual Studio editor. It was pretty incredible to see how quickly we were able to release things to production, how easy it was to get rid of bugs. There wasn't a lot of time wasted. It was my first time seeing something integrated end-to-end with one kind of company and seeing how seamless and painless other things that had been painful in the past didn't have to be. There was that aha moment when I pushed my code, and just a minute or two later, I refreshed the website and it was there. The power, let's say productivity, that can be gleaned from that, given this task and this system, that I'll complete at half of the time than on the old one, it gives you more time to make it more high quality. The business might say that it gives you more time to get more work done, but no, it's quality. So that's what we can get when we do it right. There's a lot of emotion wrapped up into this story, but again, having all these insights, we needed to harness them around our focus, around what really mattered, which is our Microsoft Love model, identity and trust, making lives better, making the world better. So let's go back to our model, and we'll start with Simplify's technology today. Well, Simplify's technology is that I can't love something I don't understand. When we don't simplify technology for our users and our customers, people feel shame. But they don't want to feel shame when it comes to tech. They want to feel confident and smart and show others that they do, in fact, understand technology. And when we do that as Microsoft, people feel worthy of themselves. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first saw Simplify's technology for me, I was not equating that to self-worth. But that is the deep level of emotion that we want to get to, that we want to bring to our stakeholders, to the marketers, engineers at Microsoft, in order to have them activating in a way that's emotional and emotionally driven. And that's not it. Because yes, Simplify's technology is about confidence. It's also about increasing people's level of understanding so we can decrease the feeling of inadequacy. It is closing the gap on convenience, sure, bringing familiarity to people, reducing friction, and increasing productivity. For commercial, integration is huge when it comes to technology, especially for large enterprises. And then finally, staying current alongside innovation and helping people decrease the mental load and the mental burden that they have when making big decisions for many, many people. So Brand Trust helped us organize all of our learnings to be harnessed again around our model, around all these perceptions, and we created what we like to call our emotionality reference deck, which goes hand in hand with our foundational learnings, and it truly is integrated as a part of that. It's not an option, it's an and. And we bring this along with quotes and verbatims to people in our organization, as well as thought starter and activation questions, so that again, we will share these insights, but we're going to make sure that we tie a bow on it with actionability for people to get there, so that anyone who sees the Microsoft Love model at Microsoft, they know that they have an opportunity in one dimension at least in driving love. Last year was a big year. This thing called AI became super, super important. We are launching Copilot from Microsoft, and we got a new CMO. So a lot of questions began to arise, and a lot of things about what are our priorities, what matters, are things going to change for the CMO and what he feels is important for our business right now. And although our team knew and believed it to be true that it's an and, again, love and AI, we got that support from our CMO, and he shared this quote on the next slide, or he said this at a marketing event about the imperatives for being AI in this time, for being marketers at AI. Oh my gosh, my words today. For being marketers in times of AI at Microsoft. So he said, but I just want you to feel like we are at a great time to be marketers here at Microsoft and the era of AI, because we have so many opportunities to curate peak moments of brand love through our products. In order to be leaders in AI like we want to, in order to successfully launch Copilot, to be that brand, in order to do all of those things, people need to love us in the era of AI. So on the ground, we've also been doing work as well, education and repetition. It takes so many times for people to really grasp it, and then to remember it, and then to implement it. Engagement. If we want people to drive love, we need to tell them how they can goal against it and how they can measure it. And then finally, activation. Finding opportunities across our business that feel scalable so others can learn from them, as well as creating workshops that put our foundational learnings into bite-sized chunks, and again, exercises that get them to actionability. So when they walk away, they have something they can do today. Because it's been really fun going and presenting to teams across the organization about love and all the things we've learned. It's not scalable. So that's the purpose of workshops like that. And in the end, I think we are making progress, and it shows that love is not just one thing. It'll be in the ethos of who we are, regardless of the era or the product or the audience. We will continue to drive love, and we'll continue to become a more human Microsoft. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was such a great presentation. It does look like we've got a couple questions that have come in, so we have a few minutes to answer them. The first one, was wondering if you've looked a little bit more at commercial populations to express their brand love, and seeing how that might be different from buying for like a company rather than personally.
Yeah, 100%. So when we think about commercial audiences, especially those decision makers that are making purchase decisions and decisions for hundreds to quite literally thousands of people, the risk is so high, but so is the reward. And we heard that oftentimes the opportunity for things to become a problem or a challenge or to not work or to fail was so much riskier than Xbox not working for a gamer. And so it became that much more crucial and that much more important to make sure that we are connecting with those people and building those long-lasting, impactful relationships and getting to the emotions that really matter, right? Like when we think about some of our perceptions, some of those emotions in the ways that we had learned for consumers or the general population didn't resonate. So it was getting deeper and ensuring that we had an answer for what every single perception meant to a commercial audience in their context, in their business, because who they are at work doesn't just go away when they go home, right? It's part of all of the many identities that we carry, and we need to make sure that we were not leaving out that super impactful, important one of who they are at their job and what they're responsible for.
Awesome. This other one says, Microsoft is an often required work product. How do you drive brand love for those who might not be picking? So I know we touched on, picking it from a commercial space, but...
Yeah, that's a great question. So for the people who aren't picking, Microsoft is everywhere and people just don't know it. It's in your personal lives too, although you may not realize that, or you may not go choose the Surface laptop when you're purchasing your next device. It truly is everywhere, and I think with Copilot, it's our next big opportunity to show that we can impact your personal life too, and we can find use cases in order to show people that you can use Copilot in all of our products to do things like, organize your plans for your son's birthday trip, or organize a trip or a vacation, get your thoughts onto paper, whatever it may be. There's many opportunities and use cases. Write a song for fun, help write vows. There's so many things. I think that's our next challenge, is showcasing those personal moments that are super impactful for people.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Haley. Everybody give her a round of applause. Okay. If you have any additional questions after this, please find Haley offstage. Is there a good place for people to find you?
Anywhere. I don't know. I'll be right over there for now.
All right.
Thank you so much.